Here's our tail of the tape brought to you by Geico. Christian Stigenberg is the older fighter. He is also at 6'5", 4 inches taller than Chris Mixan. Both of these guys, very, very tall welterweights. You can see that height advantage translates into a reach advantage on the arms for Stigenberg, but it is Chris Mixan with the longer legs. Andy Shepard, to you.
Ladies and gentlemen, the following contest is a welterweight showcase bout. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner. He stands 6'5" tall and weighed in officially at 170 pounds. He owns a record of 3 wins and a single defeat. Fighting out of Gävle, Sweden, Christian Stigenberg. And across the cage in the red corner, he is a striking specialist and stands 6 feet 1 inches tall. He weighed in officially at 170 pounds. He enters the PFL Smart Cage undefeated with a record of 3 wins and 0 defeats. Fighting out of Port Orange, Florida, Chris Mixan. Your referee in charge, Gary Copeland.
Good to see Gary Copeland here in Cardiff, Wales. Inside of our PFL Smart Cage, he will oversee the action. Sean O'Connell, Kenny Florian, and Randy Couture here cage side. Chris Mixan in the blue, Christian Stigenberg in the gray. 2 welterweights set to square off.
Round 1, you ready, Red? Let's fight.
Touch of the gloves, both fighters in an orthodox stance. Chris Mixan, the owner, as we mentioned, of a 3-0 undefeated pro record, also undefeated as an amateur. Yet to taste any defeat in the sport of mixed martial arts.
See Chris trying to jab to the body. He loves attacking the body with that lead hand, both with his jab and that hook. Stigenberg, a guy who loves to pressure forward, utilizes that jab to set up a lot of things, and at 6'5", he can do that from very long distance.
At 6'1", Chris Mixan is used to having a longer reach than a lot of his welterweight opponents.
Yeah, it seems like Mixan is choosing to play the counter striker here.
This must be the way they grow them in Sweden.
Yeah.
We got Sadabusi and Stigenberg both at 6'3" in the welterweight division.
There's that jab to the body, but not good counter striking here from Stigenberg whenever Chris Mixan does decide to engage.
That was a nice short little left hook from Stigenberg.
I like the head fakes and level changes by Stigenberg. He keeps you off balance.
Yeah, it seems like Mixan is definitely choosing to counter strike. He's trying to set up that right hand. Stigenberg typically very aggressive. And he's kind of picking his shots from the outside. He's not just rushing forward. And I think Mixan wants him to rush on to that right hand.
Stigenberg already putting some work in on the lead leg of Chris Mixan as well. Inside and outside leg kicks.
It's a heavy leg kick.
But the jab missed, but that right hand landed.
There's the right hand that Kenny was talking about. A strong 1-2 from Stigenberg in response.
That was a beautiful slip and rip there from Mixan.
Nice combinations, long and straight by Stigenberg as well.
Yeah, Mixan wants Stigenberg to throw that right hand. He wants to counter with his own. Stigenberg's being very careful. He's playing it smart here.
He is. He's hiding it behind feints and head feints, snapping them out there quick and bringing them right back.
That time it was a left hook from Chris Mixan that caught Stigenberg coming in. And now Stigenberg gets Mixan on the back foot.
You don't see a whole lot of people who are capable of shoulder rolling in mixed martial arts. Mixon's one of those guys who actually knows how to pull it off. So far, anyway.
He does it so well and so quickly, it almost looks like he got hit.
Yeah. Times it really, really well.
90 seconds remain in this first round. Welterweight showcase. There's that searching hook from Stigenberg. He's got the length to land it. Twice now with the right leg.
Surprised that Stigenberg hasn't gone for the takedown there.
I think because he's winning the striking, he doesn't feel the need or the pressure to have to try and take this fight to the ground.
Yeah, he's certainly staying busier. There's a nice combination from Stigenberg again. I think he's been busier overall for sure. I think Mixon's probably landed the harder blows, but it's tough. It's very, very close. Stigenberg's landed some stingers as well.
Now Mixon turning it up as we draw closer to the end of this first round. A flurry in the final seconds of the opening frame. Chris Mixan
Round 2, red, blue.
in the blue trunks, Christian Stigenberg in the gray trunks. Have fun judging this one at home.
Right.
Fighter performance rating does favor Christian Stigenberg, 66-36 from the first frame. And the British MMA legend Dan Hardy has a report from the corner between rounds. Dan?
So the message in the Mixon corner was to keep working the body. You can see that Mixon's got a really nice jab, but his corner team is telling him to work that body, maybe to bring the hands down of his opponent so he can come over the top with that right hand. That's what I'm hearing.
Thank you, Dan. Good hook again from Christian Stigenberg. Picking up the second round where we left off in round 1, Randy.
Absolutely. Very strategic performance by Stigenberg. Tough to be the counter fighter when a guy strategically finds ways with head fakes and feints to land those shots, get in and get out, and not stand and trade.
Yeah, particularly difficult going backwards against a guy who's 6'5" at welterweight too. And what I love about Stigenberg is that oblique kick as well. He's really trying to attack that lead knee of Mixon.
Right hand landed again from Mixon there. And Stigenberg offers one of his own. Very evenly matched so far in the striking.
I think Mixon has to change tactic. He's got to start leading the dance. He can't wait and counterpunch. When he steps in and throws combinations like that, he starts to take over the momentum of the fight.
Well, he landed 2 of those 1-2s in about the last 30 seconds going first. Maybe we'll see more of it. 2 minutes gone in the second round.
Randy, I agree. I'd like to see him do more work moving forward off of his jab. That's where he can attack the body and be more effective against the taller Stigenberg.
He needs to pull some level changes, some head fakes, and use that to get inside and let those combinations go in the pocket.
Stigenberg continues to poke out that long jab. Mixon's jab has landed mostly to the body. Another leg kick.
Stigenberg doing a good job of feinting, as you said, Randy. There he is, landing that right hand. Keeps your opponent guessing, and it's, again, with that kind of length, a very tricky thing to deal with.
Mixes up the low attacks with the legs and the high attacks, the long-range weapons, the head feints, and the little level changes that keep you guessing as to what he's throwing.
And I'm surprised that Mixan, being the shorter guy, hasn't tried to use more leg kicks there against Stigenberg to slow him down and take away that forward pressure.
It's Mixan who's been wearing the leg kicks, and you can see visibly that the lead knee is all red, a couple of welts. There's a right hand to the body from Mixan. Stigenberg is able to keep his head out of harm's way.
And there you saw an example of Stigenberg not really looking so comfortable when he's getting pushed back with pressure, Randy. So to your point, I think Mixan really should try to switch things up. Be curious to see if he does that in round 3 and starts to pursue and lead the dance.
Exactly. I think he's got to shift gears here. The counter punch thing isn't working. Stigenberg's got a long upper torso. We already see that Mixan has the longer legs in this fight. It's easy for Stigenberg to move his head and upper body and keep it out of the way for the counter punch.
The high kick snapped the head of Christian Stigenberg back as Chris Mixan introduces a new element to his striking game in this fight. There's a right hand and another high kick attempt. Mixan now pulling more tools out of the box after Stigenberg's been able to frustrate his boxing efforts.
Yeah, I mean, Stigenberg isn't overcommitting. He's not throwing himself off, off balance with his punches. He's keeping his base. Not really offering much to counter.
Final few seconds of this second round. Back and forth these strikers go.
Let's fight.
Third of 3 in this welterweight showcase. Back to the center of the smart cage and back to the striking. Stigenberg finishes his combination with a hook.
Let's go. Chop that tree. Here we go. Come on.
Let's hear one more time from Dan Hardy before the end of this welterweight affair. Dan?
Yeah, I'm in the corner of Chris Mixan here. Obviously, it's a very closely contested matchup. This is the corner is telling him to try and push forward and work a little bit more. But he seems to be struggling with the height a bit of his opponent, in my eyes. Stigenberg is coming over that lead shoulder and punching down into his chin. And it's making Mixan a little bit tentative in my eyes.
So the corner of Mixan, Randy, calling for the same thing that you were. They wanted to be a little bit more aggressive, go first. Easier said than done because of not only the physical tools of Stigenberg that Dan was mentioning, but his skill. He's using that length very well.
He does a great job of moving his head out of harm's way, using a little bit of footwork and some angles to stay right in the rhythm and keep doing what he's been doing going into this third round.
Oh, he's definitely listening to his corner. He is pressuring forward, at least holding his stance a little bit better here. But he keeps running into that jab. He needs to get that head off the center line a little bit more and feint his way in. Take a page out of Stigenberg's book. I like how Mixan switches up his rhythm. He just needs to do it a little bit more often. He'll kind of throw a nice smooth jab and then speed things up with his 2 as he moves forward. And Stigenberg, again, moving into that right hand of Mixan. Let's see if Mixan's able to time that right hand.
He swings the right high kick that time instead. The first PFLX Fighter Pack drop is live. Don't miss your chance to collect NFTs from your favorite fighters. You can buy now on PFLX.io.
Beautiful spinning back kick there by Mixan.
Almost thought that was a cup check, but Stigenberg didn't seem to even flinch.
Now Mixan coming in aggressively. Double kicks to the body, one for each side.
Mixan definitely trying to take charge and lead the dance in this third round. Get off first.
Good awareness from both Mixan and his corner that that aggression is necessary. He might be down 2 rounds to none. More work to the body from Mixan, but again, as Dan Hardy mentioned, Stigenberg able to punch down. Oh, big body kick. Now Mixon's got Stigenberg on the back foot a little.
Yeah, and Stigenberg's lead left hand is starting to drop as well. See if Mixon can double up on that right hand as he comes forward. Maybe try to shift stances as he moves forward as well. Get some extra power.
Mateusz Scheffel will be part of a heavyweight semifinal bout later this evening on ESPN and simulcast right here on ESPN+. For now, he's relaxing.
Oh, boy.
The left kick landed. Was it actually a knockdown or a slip from Stigenberg? Mixon taking advantage of it for now.
Well, I think his face slipped off the instep of Mixon's foot there. That was definitely a drop from a kick.
And look, as Stigenberg started to move back, he caught that foot right on the face and pushed him right over.
The right hand landed for Mixon there as well, and Stigenberg thinks better of the striking for the moment. Grabs a hold of his opponent, pushes him against the smart cage barrier.
Good job by Stigenberg to slow things down a little bit, get his head back in the game. Veteran move here by Stigenberg.
He is a two-time amateur MMA champion in his home country of Sweden. He's 3-0 so far as a pro, and he has looked excellent here in the smart cage tonight. Put some respect on Christian Stigenberg's name.
He's fighting very, very smart.
Perhaps mere seconds away from handing Chris Mixan his first competitive loss in the sport of mixed martial arts. Final 10 seconds. Spinning back kick again attempted there. Stigenberg steps in to crowd it. All right, Gary Copeland has the fighters in the center of the smart cage. Andy Shepard has an official decision. Andy?
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds of action, we go to the judges' scorecards. Judge Ben Cartley scores the fight 29-28. Judge David Leatherby scores the fight 29-28. And Judge Mark Collette scores the fight 29-28 for a split decision. Your winner, Chris Mixan!
Wow, Chris Mixan gets the nod.